Well, hello everybody. For those of you who are watching this in a replay, thank you for joining me, and I'll tell you what we're going to be doing in just a moment. For those of you who are live with me here on Facebook, on my Facebook business page, Mitchell Osborn, Animal Communicator and Pet Psychic, thank you for joining me. Let me know if you want to, where you're watching from, where you are in the world. And, if you got anything going on today, we're going to be using a mindfulness practice in just a moment. I'm going to kind of go over what the mindfulness practice is. And I've got a lot of data today. I've got more notes than I normally like to have, but I think it's important notes, important stuff. And then we'll definitely do a mindfulness practice. It's usually about an 8 to 12 minute practice, and we'll do that probably about 7:15 or the 15-minute mark. So we're just starting. We're 1 minute into this, and I'll talk for a few minutes, answer any questions, and then we'll jump into a mindfulness session. So I see a couple of you popping up out there. Say hello if you want to, where you are watching from. And like I said, I'm just going to talk for about 5 to 8 minutes and then take you into a mindfulness practice. So the topic tonight about mindfulness, and by the way, my name is Mitchell Osborn. You can find me at mitchellosborn.com. I am a psychic medium, and I use those abilities as an animal communicator, a pet psychic, tarot reader, and also as a mindfulness transformation coach, which this weekend was full of very much transformation. Hello, Linda. Hey, Norm. So I had a couple clients that it was one of those where Spirit said, just show up. Just show up. And I really didn't know. Hey, Carla. I didn't know what we were going to be doing with some of my clients, but Spirit really stepped in, and there was a lot of transformation this weekend. So this is kind of fun that this is coming up on it. So, hi everybody, and what we're going to be talking about today is, and let me put the link where I got this from. I get the magazine Mindfulness, Mindful, and there's a beautiful website, mindful.org, and I just put the link where I got this from, because I do mindfulness sessions at my corporate day job, which is, with a big medical institute, but I work in a fitness center, wellness center. But I have clients that I work through a kind of an executive program, and also I get to go into some of the medical wings and units, ICU, pre and post surgery, to do some mindfulness with people there. It's been really rewarding to be able to do this recently. It was really neat to got to connect with someone the other day, and they're like, wow, like a lot of the pain is gone. And I'm like, yeah, that's what the opportunity is for you to kind of get rid of that. And some of the stuff I'll talk about tonight, it's not so much that the pain is gone, but our reaction to it is changed and it's shifted. So tonight we are going to be focusing on the science and practice of staying present through difficult times. And like I said, this came from mindful.org, which I put the link up there. And you can see that if you want to, because I'm not going to go over everything, because a lot of it is kind of high level. And I love the here and now. I love what's practical for you now. But the research is what's really cool about mindfulness, because Jon Kabat-Zinn, who started the Mindfulness Institute up in University of Massachusetts. He's been working on this stuff for like 40 years. So there's a lot of data, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and stronger and stronger. And the research suggests that when we move towards pain and discomfort, we experience less of it. And what I think, and what I've read and believe that means is, we're not avoiding it. We're dealing with it. We're not, numbing it. I was someone who, struggled with a lot of things like most people do. For me, it was kind of, overweight, closeted gay kid, and from 15 to, I think it was about 24, I pretty much drank myself silly, just trying to numb the pain rather than deal with it. And then once I hit 27, I started dealing with it. This is actually last month, December, is a 28 years clean and sober. So it's been a wonderful experience, and I don't miss any of that at all, and I have no problem being around it. But it was a trying time because it was self-medication, and that's kind of what I think we do. But the research is showing that, when we stay present with it and we just kind of gently turn towards the difficulties, that's when you feel less of the pain, less of the frustration. A simple example is, driving down the highway, and, a lot of people want to, just kind of ignore the fact that they're on a road and it's heavy congestion. I drive I-4 every day, 40 minutes to work. But sometimes when you focus on the journey, which is what you're doing, then it's not such a challenge to be in that moment. And mindfulness, really, that's one place where I can see mindfulness popping up. I always tell people, sometimes it does change your life dramatically, after just a little bit. But a lot of times it shows up very subtly. And for me, it showed up as my reaction to things. So if somebody cut me off or some workload was dropped on me, at my work, I would be like, okay, I'm good, and I come at it from a logical place rather than reacting and throwing my hands up and giving them the finger and cussing at them, as they cut me off on the road. It just put distance. And then what that did was it kept me from, getting into that space of anger and hate and frustration, which for me as a Pisces, I would hang on to for quite a long time. Where now I'm usually like within 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's gone. And I might beep the horn if I felt like they jeopardized my safety or the safety of the child in their back seat. But a lot of times it was just my ego trying to get in the way. But I want to read some of the details here. And like I said, I don't want to read too many because I don't like doing a lot of notes. But some of the studies about mindfulness being one of the most successful approaches. So the authors of the study, which you can, like I said, I put the link there, concluded mindfulness was one of the most successful approaches, especially over a longer term, because it enabled patients to monitor and skillfully cope with discomfort associated with craving or negative effect. And then another study showed that smokers found that mindfulness training was more than 5 times effective as the standard smoking cessation programs. Chris, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad this will help you. And you guys, by the way, I love doing this every other Sunday night. I'm going to be doing this, so you can always get this. I have some mindfulness stuff on my website, some videos and things you can listen to. But also, if you want a personal one-on-one, then definitely check out my website and book one of those. And like I said, I often will use NLP, EFT, which is the tapping, or EMT, which is eye movement therapy, and even hypnosis, because I'm trained in all of those aspects. So let's see. So it was very effective for the smoking, and that was measured by the abstinence of cigarettes after 4 months. So 31% compared to 6%. And even another study showed that mindful people, or people who practice mindfulness, are able to tolerate, this is what I was talking about, their own distress rather than react in harmful ways. And this might be, excessive anger, grabbing that cookie when you want to feel comfortable for a moment, or eating more cake, just because you want to numb the feelings that you have. And there are benefits of staying present with the physical as well as emotional discomfort. So meditators show decreased activity in and this is where it gets technical. So if you know this stuff, good luck for you, but there's more of this on that website. But meditators showed a decreased activity in the primary somatosensory cortex. It's an area in the brain that registers pain, and an increased activity in 3 areas involved in the regulation of pain. So the reaction to pain was lessened, but the regulation of pain was kind of stimulated. And it goes on to tell you what those were. But gently turning towards pain, which is what we're going to do in the mindfulness practice in a little bit, gently turning towards the pain, people report that they experience less of it, and their resistance to it is usually decreased as well. So, and it's one of those things where you may not get caught up in the negative story. You may not get, trying to evade it or move out of it, but you're just kind of sitting with it. So it's really, really a beautiful practice. And like I said, sometimes mindfulness shows up very dramatically for people. I had at my work, I had one young girl. She came in, did one group session with us. And like a week later, she came and she said, I have to tell you something. And since then at work, I was able to share her information. I don't share it here, but she said, I have to tell you something. I've been, working on sleep and having sleep difficulties. And I was even taking medication, she said, but I went to just one of your sessions. And she said, I've been sleeping like a baby ever since then. Now, Yay, beautiful, powerful, almost miraculous. And I likened the experience to almost like her finally being given permission to do just that, rest and sleep. And, and I often will tell people, I've done this in a past in some of these live sessions, about how to just, be able to fall asleep easier and then fall back to sleep. And then mindfulness also definitely can help you stay asleep in a bit more as well. So a couple other things before we get off into a practice, but staying present with those difficulties seems to have the significant impact on your well-being. And this is what I found very interesting. People are less happy when their minds are distracted. So if you're driving down the road and you're trying to distract yourself with the traffic, the slowness, the angry people on the road by talking on the phone or listening to music or just not paying attention, then the science shows that you are less likely to be happy. And let's see, and then people tend to be happier if their minds turn toward the experience that's going on. Using the example of the road. So if you try to distract yourself, there's less likeliness that you're going to be happy. But if you focus on the journey, there's more chance of you, feeling better, being happier. Beautiful, beautiful study though. And others have suggested that setting oneself the goal of avoiding stress actually increases the risk of depression. And again, you can read that for yourself. So by the goal of avoiding stress, because we're going to have stress in our lives, and being able to deal with it, to be able to handle it, being able to react to it in a positive way, or at least acknowledge it's there, is going to have better effects for you in the long run. So a couple other things. When you've established a foundation of mindfulness of your body and your breath, you can experience turning towards that difficulty. So today, I'm going to encourage you not necessarily to choose like a real difficult situation. And this could be physical pain in your body, backache, toothache, headache. Because the moment you have a headache, you're like, I don't want this headache. I don't want this headache. I don't want this headache. Let me take an aspirin. What if you pause for a moment and just say, all right, headache, I acknowledge you're there. I imagine you're a symptom of something else going on. Just turning to it a lot of times can relieve that pain. Because the moment we're in pain, we usually go, I don't want this. I don't want this. And it's a message. It's trying to communicate something to us. So as we go through the mindfulness meditation in a few moments, you may not want to pick the most difficult one, but a heavy one. And then also while we're going through it, if it gets too heavy, because I'm not there one-on-one with you, you can just come back to just the breath and the breathing, and I'll give you some keywords: relax, release, and let go. Those are the keywords that we'll be using. But yeah, so sometimes the experience is extremely difficult, extremely painful, and you might just need to, kind of back away from it just a little bit. But a couple of key things. And let's see, may be able to work with what's happening skillfully by exploring our relationship to the pain. That's the other thing, exploring the relationship, finding out why it's there, trying to understand it. But most of us do have that, habit of turning away from the problem, trying to get rid of it, just move away and just break free from it totally and completely. So, Linda, you said, thank you for sharing your wonderful knowledge. You are welcome, Linda. I love this. I practice this personally every day. And then I get to teach this quite regularly in my corporate day job. And I've been incorporating a little bit more of the woo-woo stuff, which I don't get to do in my corporate day job, which is the EFT, the EMT, and the hypnosis, because we don't practice that yet. I believe one day we will. So it is 14 minutes, and I'm going to start to take us into a mindfulness practice. So does anybody have any questions before we get started? And type quickly, because it usually takes about 30-40 seconds for me to see the message. Otherwise, in about 1 minute, I'm going to take us into a mindfulness practice. And then we'll just spend about 8 minutes, maybe 10 at the most, and then I'll leave about 5 minutes afterwards. We'll be done in about 15 minutes total. This would be a good time, if you have earbuds, to put them in. This would be a good time to let anybody know, do not bother you until you come out of your room. Typically, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes or allow your eyes to close, but only if it's safe. All right? Only if it's safe. Like if you're driving, that's not safe to close your eyes. So, Linda, you said you're good with hypnosis. I'm a certified transpersonal and clinical hypnotherapist. I work mostly with the woo-woo spiritual stuff, past lives, in between lives, things like that. I don't do a lot of the weight loss, smoking cessation. I have some great confidants who do that work full time here in the Orlando area, and I can refer them to you. You can just private message me if you want to do more of the weight loss. I have my teacher, Renee Brent. She does some serious addiction work with hardcore addicts, and it's an intensive, powerful. It's not cheap, but neither is being addicted to stuff. But it's very powerful. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to put a blank screen up, just so that you don't see me, and then also if people pop in, they won't be distracted. So let me put this up, so that way you're just not distracted by me and what you see. I wanted to see if I can expand that just a little bit. Yeah, I should be able to expand it. So, all right. So, if you are in a comfortable and safe place, safe enough that in a moment you'll be able to close your eyes, excellent. If not, you can still listen and still get a great benefit. Perhaps you're at work. Perhaps you need to keep your eyes open. But whatever, stay alert and stay safe. That's the one thing I will say. So find yourself in the most comfortable position you can right at the moment. And just bring your awareness to your breath. And all I mean by that is just notice and pay attention to each inhalation and each exhalation. Just follow the breath in and out. If you want, you can pay attention to the rise and fall of your chest and or belly, abdominal area. And anytime there are pauses in my talk and communication, just stay with the last guidance I gave you, which is right now just following the breath in, following the breath out. Now, with each inhalation, I want you to just think or repeat in your mind the word relax. So every time you take a breath in, just think or repeat in your mind the word relax. And as you do, it's just like you're giving yourself, your entire body, mind, and even your spirit permission to do just that. Relax. So every time you take a breath in, just think or repeat in your mind the word relax. And now, when you're ready and feel comfortable, on the exhalation, I want you to think or repeat in your mind the words release and let go. And as you repeat those words on the exhalation, just give your body permission to release any tension, release any stress, let go of any discomfort, let go of anything that's not serving you for your highest and best right here, right now. And just follow the breath in, thinking the word relax. Follow the exhalation out, thinking and repeating the words release and let go. Now, those words are words that you can utilize anytime you want to fall asleep or anytime you need to go back to sleep. In fact, you can just add the word sleep in there after release and let go. But for right now, we're just going to keep the words inhale, relax, exhale, release, and let go. And if we get into a difficult situation, as we turn towards something that might be uncomfortable or difficult, just come back to these words, inhale, relax, exhale, release, and let go, and center yourself. So now I just want you to allow those words to fade away over the next couple breaths. So as you continue to follow the breath, the words relax, release, and let go slowly fade away to where you're just left with the breath again. And now just expand your awareness throughout your entire body. And just be in the present moment, noticing your body. Noticing what may come up, noticing what sensations or even emotions or even thoughts may come into your mind. And in a moment when we find what difficult or challenging situation we're going to turn to, it may be something physical, it may be something emotional, it may be something intellectual, it may be something spiritual, it may be something social. Whatever it is, just trust and allow. And if it's something too big, too grand to start off with, that's okay. Just pick something else. Now, whatever you've settled on, whether it's an emotion, something social, something physical, something spiritual, just settle on it for now and just notice. If it's physical, do you feel an aching or a throbbing, a tightening? If it's emotional, do you feel some emotions welling up? If it's spiritual, do you find yourself almost confused? Acknowledge any anger, restlessness, or frustration as you turn and face this difficult, perhaps challenging, perhaps painful situation, emotion, event, whatever it may be. And just gently turn your attention more and more towards it. And if it becomes a little overwhelming, you can pull your attention back away, and then you can come back in. Almost like bringing your hand closer to a warm fire, and then backing it away when it gets too hot. Just experiment with it. Just notice any changes, any sensations. Notice if there's any shifts in location, texture, depending on what you're focusing on. Just let go of any need to try and fix something, get a result or an expectation. And as I said, just practice turning towards and away from whatever it is you're focusing on. Notice if there's a resistance to it. If you want to pull away or look away, perhaps you do. Perhaps you just notice the resistance and that's all. If anything feels too heavy or too difficult, just return yourself back to the inhale, thinking the word relax. Exhale, thinking release and let go. But otherwise, stay focused on the difficult, painful, challenging situation. Allowing the breath to come in the body, allowing the breath to exhale the body. Just stay with what feels manageable right here, right now. Noticing any sensations. Now I want you to start to take some fuller, deeper breaths in. And every time you exhale, just gently move your attention or energy or focus away from that difficult, challenging, whatever that is, painful situation or area. And if you want, you can thank whatever that thing, area, emotion, or pain was for showing up. You can thank yourself for being brave and turning towards something that might have been scary or difficult or even painful. And as you pull further and further back from whatever it is you were focusing on, start to bring your attention more and more towards your breath and also the words. On the inhalation, focus on the word relax as you inhale. And as you exhale, think or repeat in your mind the words release and let go. And as you pull further and further back away from that difficult, challenging situation, you kind of get a glimpse of how tiny and small and perhaps insignificant it is or has become. Focusing on the breath and the words, inhale, relax. Exhale, release, and let go. Practice that a few more times on your own in silence, about 3 to 5 more times. And now, over the next few breaths, once again, allow the words to slowly fade away to where you're just left with your breath, the breathing. Following the breath in and out, noticing the rise and fall of your chest and or abdominal area. Start to take some fuller, deeper breaths in, and the next time you exhale, just gently wiggle your fingers. Next time you exhale, wiggle your toes, maybe point, maybe flex your ankles. Now, the next time you inhale, lift your shoulders up, and as you exhale, set them down and back. And the next time you exhale, gently allow your eyes to open, coming back fully present with me wherever you are in this big, beautiful world. Feeling present, awake, fully aware, back in your body, having paid attention, turned to, stared that difficult, challenging, frustrating, painful discomfort in the face, making peace with it, becoming more aware of what it is, learning from it. So fully present and aware, let me know if you can, if you want to, that you're back and you're aware, especially those of you who are pretty vocal. I just want to make sure that you're out of it. You didn't fall asleep, which is a beautiful compliment. And if your head bobbed a little bit, that's always a nice compliment as well. Sometimes people will lose my voice, and then all of a sudden they're like, wait, someone's talking to me. That's another good compliment as well. So thank you guys. I'm not going to jump off. I just want to see, Linda, you're welcome. If you guys have any questions, type them in now. If you joined me halfway through this and you have no idea what we're doing, scroll up. I posted a link to an article from mindfulness.org about the science on practice of staying present through difficult times and how practice of mindfulness can help with that for pain and discomfort and difficult issues and stuff like that. Chris, thank you. So let me know if you guys felt anything. Some of y'all you're very intuitive, very psychic. You have great visualization. So some of you might have had some wild images and visions. Some of you, it might have just been very straightforward. You know what? And that's just as good. It just depends on how you process information. Norm, you said, I'm aware I could feel the energy that was pain was leaving my body through your legs and feet. Very relaxing. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, sometimes what we do as humans is we attach so much emotions to physical pain. Like, oh my God, I'm never going to be good again. I'm never going to, why did I do to deserve this? What's wrong with me? This is where when I talk about animal communications, they have pain, they have emotions, but they don't attach them like we do. They don't attach that, I'm a sad loser. That's why I'm in pain. I deserve this. They don't think that. They're just like, ow, this hurts. And then they move on beyond it. I think their tolerance to pain is a lot higher. And I actually think, and I can't remember this, so I can't quote me, but I'm pretty sure there's some studies about before there was all the anesthesia and all that kind of stuff. It was just the norm. It was painful, but it was the norm to have, surgery or dental work or stuff like that without anesthesia, and people would go in, and it was like they had a higher tolerance to pain back then. And I think it was a belief, and probably a collective belief, because one day we're going to be sitting there, and a toothache is going to be nothing for a tooth filling is going to be nothing for us compared to what we have now. So Norm says, so true, that's how you felt. Beautiful. Chris, been having intestinal issues. Tummy was gurgling, then suddenly stopped. Beautiful. And you know what, Chris, thanks for sharing that, because that's a perfect example. A lot of times we're like, okay, I just ate something. Okay, is my stomach going to be able to handle this? Is it going to, the last time I ate that, my stomach got, we create, we manifest, we retell a story, and we give it life, and we give it breath, and we keep retelling that story. So sometimes when we turn to it and just pay attention to it, the pain goes away. Because there is a study, and I think they did it with yogurt cultures, about they put little electrodes in yogurt cultures, and they were just measuring it. And the moment somebody put their attention, looked at the yogurt, it changed. So nothing can remain the same when you put your attention on it. It is different. This is how I believe, and this is what I've read, how Reiki, how energy healing, all of that works, because the moment I put attention on it, it's changed. The moment I put attention on my headache, on my body, on my bowels, it's changed. So you guys remember this practice. It is a simple one. Focusing, bring yourself into a relaxed state. You can use the words, and by the way, what I was telling you, if you didn't catch it, at night, if I have trouble going back to sleep, because I usually don't have trouble falling asleep, I just think inhale, relax, exhale, release, let go, sleep. I think the word sleep. Usually 3 to 5 breaths, and I'm back asleep. But again, like very Pavlovian dog response, the more you do it, the quicker, the faster, the easier it will happen for you. But yeah, so this will be saved over my YouTube channel in case you lose it. You can just go there and check it out, and you can always fast forward right to the part where we do the meditation. Or, like I said, if you ever want to do a one-on-one mindfulness, we can do it. I can record it, and then you have it for you, designed specifically for you. So that's another cool thing that we do as well. So, but yeah, so practice this daily, and yeah. Any questions before we sign off? I appreciate you being here. And let me see. I think next Sunday night is Animal. You need me daily too. All right. So yep, the 12th I will do Animal Communication. So a week from tonight. The 16th, it's a Thursday. V and I are going to do 1-card readings. Our schedules have been all over the place. So yeah. So tomorrow I'm starting the Gay Dodgeball League. Trying to be more social in 2020. So Fabian's gone the first night. I'm gone the second Monday night, and then we'll finally be all together. So anyway, so if no other final questions, thanks for showing up, you guys. Thanks for sharing this video, retweeting. If you're not a subscriber on my YouTube channel, it's Intuitive Mitchell. And also, if you click the little bell, then every time I upload a video, you'll get notified that there's a new upload. Which I do a lot. I do weekly. I do unboxing of tarot cards. I send all of these things there as well. So namaste, everybody. Have an amazing night. Happy New Year. Yes, happy New Year. And remember this year, 2020. So lots of coupling, lots of connections, lots of relationships, lots of partnerships, lots of agreements with all the twos. But that boils down to a 4, because 2 + 2 is 4. So all the relationship partnerships are going to have extra solid, long-lasting, practical uses. So I feel like relationships built in this year are going to last for a very long time. They're going to be very practical, very sensible, very grounded relationships. So yeah, with this beautiful 2020, and just even the 2020, thinking clearly, it's going to be a very clear year. So, all right. Namaste, everybody. Until next time. Bye-bye.